This is my new outlet here. We're trying something new, and we're gonna do a little philosophy. Probably do this 3 times a week, maybe. At least 5 minutes, no more than 10. I probably don't have the attention span to do that, so that's all you're getting. So let's just jump right into it. So we're gonna start with Descartes, and he was a 16th and 17th century philosopher from France. And he was back in the day when people were a bit of Renaissance men and women. I'm sure there were some women in there. But he was a philosopher, mathematician, and scientist. Excuse me. So he did most than anybody will ever do in their lives nowadays. So yeah, he came up with these 4 rules for life in his discourse on method and meditations on first philosophy. Read this in a philosophy class earlier this year, and we'll start off. Number 1: never accept anything as true that you don't know to be true by itself. Now, this one is pretty interesting to me. I like. I'm one for calling people out on their bullshit, and it's fun. Most people like doing it, and I'm a bit of a skeptic in that way. But it's something that some people can apply to their everyday lives. Is don't really get fooled by anything. There's a lot of fake shit out there, and what Descartes is trying to say in the 16th century, basically way ahead of his time, is that there's a lot of schemers out there trying to sway you one way or the other, and bringing that to modern times. You might even see that with the political elections nowadays, especially this year. So, number 2, divide everything into as many parts as possible. Now, with me, with severe ADD, as they tell me, not so sure I believe them, but divide everything into smaller parts. It's better to lay a brick rather than trying to think of, oh shit, I gotta build the Great Wall of China. It'll never happen if you think about it that way. Number 3, conduct thoughts in an orderly fashion. Stay true to what you're thinking, and make sure to don't really get out of hand, and just what am I trying to say here? I'm stumbling. To basically, make sure you know what you're doing when you start. Know where you're headed, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So, number 4, make reviews general so that nothing would be omitted. Now, this one, I don't really like this one so much. I'm not really one for generalizations. I don't think most people would like that. If you're trying to figure something out, and you're trying to come to a conclusion, it's a generalization. It doesn't really do anybody any good, even yourself. So I'm not sure I agree with that, but Descartes. I'm no Descartes, so. And we're gonna read a little excerpt. Let's see, page 5. Start with this. Concerning philosophy, I shall say that seeing that has been cultivated for many centuries by the most excellent minds that have ever lived, and that nevertheless there still is nothing about which there is not some dispute, and consequently nothing that is not doubtful. I was not at all presumptuous as to hope to fare any better than the others, and that, considering how many opinions there can be about the very same matter that are held by learned people, I guess they would say, without there ever being the possibility for more than one opinion being true, I deemed everything that was merely probable to be well nigh false. Now, this goes back to the first one. Never accept anything as true that you don't know to be true by itself. Basically, be a skeptic and basically create your own truths by yourself. Think for yourself. in short. Now this is just a little dip of your toes into Descartes' philosophy. Not telling you to destroy all your epistemological beliefs, but be more of a skeptic. Be skeptical of things you know, in your gut you might feel, this doesn't really add up. So and you know, this is my first go at this, but I'm trying to put philosophy into layman's terms as I see them, because I believe that philosophy can be sort of a therapy. So, you know, in our constant search for meaning in our lives, this is what philosophy helps with, if it helps with anything. And yeah, so